Hey YouTube, Zelakali here. Today I'm bringing you a PU match against House of Wolves. Now, I understand that most of you will know what PU is, but just in case some of you don't, PU is basically the never used of the never used tier. It's the place where all the Pokemon that nobody, basically that people really rarely use, go to die. But if you're like me, you like to use some of these Pokemon a few times, and you use them in NU. And speaking of, you'll notice that this PU team that I have here for you, is very similar to my NU team. And the reason for that is basically this team is based around not Mantine, but Mawile. And Mawile just happens to work really well with Mantine, and Mantine works really well with all these other Pokemon that are here. And I mean, why ruin a winning formula, right? But anyway, looking at his team, he is almost definitely a rain team because I mean he has Fione, and all Fione does is rain, rest, hydrate, maybe toxic and maybe scald. But those can be slightly different sometimes. But yeah, that's pretty much all it's gonna do. Looking at other Pokemon in his team, he has Bronzor and Meganium. Meganium is pretty weird on a rain team, but I guess it works because of powering down fire. And I can kind of tell from those that it's going to be a bit of a stally team. Although he does have Raichu and Relicanth as well, which are quite offensive. So it's probably quite balanced like mine. But anyway, without further ado, I think I'm going to start the battle. So yeah, I'm challenged by M Bomb. I don't know where that comes from because it was definitely White House of Wolves on the Smug on Wi-Fi Battler. But yeah, I lead with Margarine, which I normally do. I make the first of many mistakes and go for U-turn. I should have sleep powdered, preventing him from stealth rocking at all. And the reason for that is my Sandshrew, my spinner, is not going to be able to spin very often, not against rain, because there's just too much. Hidden power ice from Raichu, water attacks, grass attacks. They're everywhere. So anyway, I just U-turn into Mawile. I Swords Dance, predicting Switch, and then Iron Head predicting Rain Dance, and then I Iron Head again predicting Rest, and he just goes for the Scald and Okos because it's Rain boosted and Stab, which really sucks because Mawile is a powerhouse in PU. But anyway, I go into Mantine, another mistake really, because I thought I might be able to KO with hidden power flying and he wouldn't be able to do anything to me. But no, he just gets the free rest. What I should have done is gone into Raichu in the first place, because he would have been forced to either switch or die. Um, so yeah, I at this point I just get really annoyed with myself with some of these mistakes. But anyway, he switches out into Meganium, but I switch him to go into his Raichu and go for the Focus Blast. It doesn't matter though because I miss anyway. I then go into Gothitelle expecting him to be able to set up on this because it's a Sleep Talk, Calm Mind set, but he just goes for Dragon Tail. So that tells me that this is a kind of definitely a stally rain team more than anything else. Um, Shandy, my Sandshrew, comes out. This was stupid as well. I should have stealth rocked because it doesn't have a spinner. And as I said before, I'm not going to be able to rapid spin very often. And now I definitely can't come in if stealth rocks are up. But yeah, I go into Marjorie, my Butterfree, as he Dragon Tails, expecting another energy ball or something. And then I get Dragon Tailed into Raichu, which is fine because I have hidden power ice. But he predicts that because he has his own Raichu, obviously, and goes into Bronzor. So he's going to get up the Stealth Rocks. I should probably have gone into Sandshrew, but I went into Margarine, thinking that I could do a reasonable amount of damage with Bug Buzz. But no, I do barely anything, and he just gets the Toxic off. And at this point, I make another mistake, and I decide to sack Butterfree. And I needed Butterfree. I needed it for Relicanth because of Giga Drain. Would probably have OHKO'd just very easily. But anyway, he rain dances, light screens, all that extremely irritating stuff. Um, uh, yeah, it's just so annoying. But anyway, then switches into Relicanth saving Bronzor for Death Fodder, or whatever, maybe setting up Rain again. I don't know. The Relicanth outspeeds because it has Swift Swim, and takes Life Orb recoil and kills me. And then go into Raichu. He could probably have outsped and KO'd, but I'm an idiot, so I go into Raichu anyway. And he switches into Bronzor just to see what I'm going to lock myself into. I lock myself into Focus Blast, so he then goes into Pelipper, because again I was predicting his Raichu, which still hasn't come in. Um, so yeah, I then go into my Sandshrew just to kill it with Stealth Rocks, which was again stupid because I would have been able to use it much better later. Because there's no way that Pelipper's going to be able to do anything to Mantine. But it doesn't matter. He sends in Fione. Neither of us can do anything to each other. So I think after leftovers and stuff, I just switch. Yeah, I do. I do switch, and I send him my Raichu, very imaginatively named Rai, um, which he toxics, which really sucks because toxic wouldn't have mattered on Mantine, but it definitely mattered on Raichu because if this Raichu wasn't toxic, I would probably have won. Basically, spoilers, I don't win. Uh, if that wasn't already evident. Here, this is another thing that's really annoying because Stealth Rock. If I had Stealth Rocks up, he wouldn't have been able to switch his Raichu in again. I don't think. So yeah, I just go into Gothitelle as he switches into Pelipper. I think he probably fears the whatchamacallit, the Thunderbolts here because Gothitelle carries that sometimes, a lot of the time actually, and he sends out his Meganium to take that, but I just rest just in case his Pelipper wanted to do something because this isn't max special defense, it's max HP, max defense. So yeah, I use Sleep Talk and roll Psyshock. The reason I have that is if you're calm minding, then your opponent's usually going to expect you to go for Psychic, but Psyshock it can catch people off guard. But anyway, he just Dragon Tails me into Skimmer. He sends in his Mantine, sorry, Fione. I keep doing that, um, expecting to be able to Toxic my Mantine, but he can't because I've got Rest. So he just Rain Dances, which is nice for him. Kind of meh for me, except actually it's really, really frustrating for me. But yeah, I just stay in and keep going for Impel Flyer, flying, trying to either stall his rests out or forcing him to switch. Um, so yeah, eventually, after a couple of sleep talks, he realizes I'm not leaving, I'm staying here. And then he switches, and then I make another mistake. I should have gone for Scold because a burn would have been good on anything, especially this Relicanth, and it would also have done a lot more damage. May even have KO'd. But I go for Hidden Power Flying because I'm an idiot. Um, and switch into Gothitelle, which, as I said, is max HP, max defense, as he substitutes, which I wasn't expecting. I don't really know what Relicanth does most of the time. But yeah, he substitutes. And then he waterfalls and hits like a truck. And that surprised me because, max defense, max HP, you think I might be able to take something. But then I suppose it is raid boosted, stab, waterfall. At this point, I realise he isn't going to die from another one with Life Orb. So I switch into Mantine, predicting the waterfall, and baiting in the rock type move, preferably Head Smash. I then go into Gothitelle again, just as death fodder, because he can use Head Smash, which will KO obviously, and he'll take some recoil and then die from Life Orb, which is nice because it means I'm not going to be swept by Relicanth, which would have been kind of embarrassing, and also not much fun to watch or narrate. So he goes into his Meganium as I go into Mantine. I just go for Power Flying because I know that he can't do very much to me. He Energy Balls, and the rain stops, which is potentially quite nice, but it doesn't really matter in the end. This would have been really stally, but I get a crit on this hidden power, which it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Um, it just kind of sped things up. He was probably just leaving it in to get a safe switch into Raichu anyway. So yeah, he goes into Raichu, and I go into my own Raichu, um, because I can't safely leave Mantine in, and he goes for the Volt Switch, which means that I'm going to get +1 special attack, or 69, um, and he's going to go into Fione, get O-code by Thunderbolt, obviously specs Raichu, O-codes Fiones for days, unless maybe they're special defensive, I suppose. Then goes into Pelipper, I guess, just trying to make sure that my Raichu is dead from Toxic before he sends his own one in. Um, so yeah, both Pelipper and Raichu die, and I have to send in Mantine because it's my last Pokemon. He has to send in Raichu because it's his last Pokemon, and he Volt switches for the kill because Thunder might have missed and he was probably carrying that single to Rain team. But anyway, yeah, good game, House of Wolves. Um, I'm not going to say I probably would have won if I hadn't made all those mistakes because I probably would still have lost because I'm just that bad at Pokemon. Um, but yeah, there's a couple of things that I want to talk about. Again, they aren't Tenor related though; they are metagame related, and they are as of today, the time I'm recording. Basically, Gothitelle was released and Genesect was released. And the question I want to ask you guys is how do you think they'll affect the metagame? So please answer that question in the comments and give me likes if you enjoyed, subscribe if you really enjoyed, and you can see some of my other content. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.